Just 4 weeks ago, Jansen and his team were called to a breeder's kennels in Harris County after a report came in about dozens of American bulldogs left dead and dying. Investigators tried to save as many dogs as they could, but the conditions were horrific and many did not make it. The owner was later arrested for animal cruelty and faces a possible jail sentence. One of the first dogs rescued was in terrible condition.
This is a very shocking poor body condition. Very.
I need all available animal care team members to the rear of the shelter, please. All available animal care team members to the rear of the shelter, please. Thank you.
Back at the Houston SPCA shelter, the team has arrived with the seized American bulldogs.
Do they walk on leashes? Did y'all try it all or not really?
We can try, but they're just so weak.
Okay.
Everyone steps forward to lend a hand. It's important to get the dogs processed and evaluated as quickly as possible. Most of the dogs seem to be suffering, and many, too weak to walk, have to be carried into the shelter.
That would be, yeah, let's do that. Okay.
We are trying to get a system together. We have 3 doctors. We're going to get 3 teams, a doctor and a tech team, and we're just going to kind of run them through, and each team is going to do routine exams, treat them for any immediate illnesses that they have going on, and try to get as many evaluated as we can as soon as possible.
Dr. Catalina Thurston and Dr. Dev immediately start to assess the dogs. One of the first dogs to be rescued is evaluated. It's obvious she's emaciated.
This is a very shocking, poor body condition. Very. I mean, it's just completely, totally emaciated, drawn up. I mean, you can see this. These are spinous processes off the back vertebrae. Normally, you don't even see that in a dog unless they're, this emaciated either by lack of nutrition, lack of good deworming. But yeah, it's shocking. When they get to this kind of shape, they're going to be more susceptible to illnesses. So we're going to see a lot of secondary skin infections, ear infections.
Just deworm her?
Yeah, let's put her on some triple antibiotic ointment, and then that way she'll get on the treatment rotation.
Next door, Dr. Roberta Westbrook is evaluating another starved dog. Unfortunately, the examination is just as shocking. Basic needs, including access to water, seem to have been denied.
Oh, look, he's very thirsty, very thirsty. I don't know how long it's been since he's had water or food. He may not have had water or food in quite some time. He's just drank this whole bowl of water in a matter of seconds here.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. There's nothing else. Let me get some more. He doesn't even want to let the bowl go.
As the evaluations continue, Houston SPCA President Patty Mercer arrives. She's led the Houston SPCA for the past 23 years and has dealt with some of the biggest cases in Texas. But some seizures just stand out.
It's very upsetting. You never get used to seeing animals that have starved to death. I mean, there may be excuses for a lot of things in this world, but actually caging an animal and then literally starving it to death is just one of the most inexcusable acts. My understanding is this is a breeding operation, and so their objective was to breed and sell puppies for profit. And so that was the bottom line. Take what you can, get what you can from this, and then I guess discard the rest. So, and this is just, it's horrible. We're just disgusted by what we see.
Mercer is highly experienced in fighting animal cruelty and makes no allowances for any form of abuse or neglect.
To me, it gets harder. You continue to see the things that people do, and it becomes more and more, I think I'm more and more disgusted by what I see in people. I think it should always upset you and bother you to the point that you feel compelled to continue to work to make it stop.
One of the puppies is being examined by Dr. Westbrook and vet tech Robert Nelson.
She's obviously got an unthrifty hair coat. She's got some areas of hair loss. These could be scars from other puppies or other dogs that have healed, and the hair just hasn't grown back. She's been through a lot already. It looks like some war wounds.
She's nice. She's very sweet. She likes to crawl on you, give you kisses.
This young puppy has a chance of survival. But for many of the older dogs, the prognosis is not as good.
Not only are they emaciated, but we've seen some with some discharge from the eyes that don't seem very interactive and alert. It may be hard to get those all the way back to a state where they're adoptable. So it's possible that over the next couple days, depending on how they do with our treatment here, that there may be some that we won't adopt out that may have to be put down because of their poor health conditions.
It's been a tough and exhausting day for everyone. But for the rescued dogs, there's still a long way to go if they're going to have any chance of surviving. Despite daily intensive care, just 5 days after the court hearing, one of the Bulldogs brought into the Harris County Court as evidence of abuse and neglect has collapsed at the Houston SPCA.
This is one of the original weak dogs that came in, one of the most emaciated, and basically she's collapsed.
Dr. Thurston and vet tech Robert Nelson are the first on the scene. The situation looks desperate.
It's very serious when a dog loses its ability to lift its head up or even be responsive to the normal things that we do to them. Normally they don't want to be having us do this to them. So, I mean, yeah, this is pretty serious. I mean, she has no body reserves. I mean, as you can tell, I mean, here's the muscle atrophy. I mean, the loss of all this muscle mass. I mean, so she has nothing to get energy from to keep any of her major organs going. Her heart's beating real rapidly. That's due to basically being shocky, dehydrated, anemic. Anytime a large breed dog has a heart rate of 180, which is abnormally elevated, that should be about anywhere from 90 to 120, let's say, that heart muscle's been working really hard for a long period of time. It's a pump, so we're racing against that pump burning out. This first medication that I'm going to give her and will help elevate her blood pressure. Well, the pulses are stronger, so that's good. She's actually moving her eyes around a bit better. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not, but a lot of times when you actually start bringing blood flow back to the brain, they actually start kind of, getting more awake. And you can tell, I mean, her eyebrows are moving now. She doesn't just have a blank stare out into space. That is encouraging. The next step that we're going to take with her is actually, we're going to still continue to try to work on her. We're actually going to isolate her in one of these areas where we don't have any other animals. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and hook her up to IV fluid, start her on some heavy-duty antibiotics, IV, and kind of give her a chance to see if she'll bounce back.
Dr. Thurston sees some signs of improvement, but the prognosis is poor.
If this actually really turns out to be just due to poor care, due to poor routine medical maintenance kind of treatments, getting rid of hookworms and roundworms and whipworms on a regular basis, that makes a lot of us in the veterinary field pretty angry because, this is a very preventable problem. So, yeah, in my opinion, my personal opinion, it makes me pretty mad that somebody would let this happen to an animal. And as far as in the profession, unfortunately, we see it pretty frequently.
Later that day, and despite the best efforts of Dr. Thurston and her team, the dog that helped to bring justice against a cruel owner paid the ultimate price and passed away. Just 4 weeks ago, Jansen and his team were called to a breeder's kennels in Harris County after a report came in about dozens of American Bulldogs left dead and dying. Investigators tried to save as many dogs as they could, but the conditions were horrific and many did not make it. The owner was later arrested for animal cruelty and faces a possible jail sentence. One of the first dogs rescued was in terrible condition.
This is a very shocking poor body condition. Very.
Come on, let's go outside and play. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Come on, Annie. Good girl.
But amazingly, she was one of the lucky ones and made a full recovery. She's now called Annie and has a foster home with Sherry Waddell.
I fed her about every 2 hours.
different combinations of things. She hasn't turned down anything at all. I think she's put on about 12 to 15 pounds since she's been here. She is looking a whole lot better. I think she's on the road to recovery. I really do.
You want to play? You want to play?
Her personality is definitely coming out. She really likes to be petted. She likes for me to pick her skin up like this, kind of massage her. And I think, more is going to be revealed on her personality.
Good girl.
Annie has been given another chance thanks to Sherry, the Houston SPCA, and the investigators who rescued her. It's a new beginning and a new life.
This is turning out to be a much greater experience than I ever thought it would, fostering. She's a special dog because she's made it this far under the conditions that she was under. And to see her just change every day, I mean, I get excited to get up to see how she's feeling the next day. It's hard to bring an animal into your home and love it and feed it and worry about it, and then to let her go. So whoever gets her is going to get a long book of instructions on how to take care of her.
The day has finally come for all the surviving American Bulldogs to leave the Houston SPCA. They've been through a lot together, and now they're on their final journey to full and complete recovery. Community Outreach Manager Heidi Basher has arranged the trip, and now it's time to say goodbye.
Baby. Today we are sending about 21 of the American Bulldogs that we rescued off to a rescue that we're working with in Las Vegas. And we're very excited because these dogs will have a great opportunity to find some good homes and be in foster care for a while. These dogs are amazing animals. They are very happy to see us this morning, and they're kind of excited about a new adventure. And so some of them are a little bit nervous about the steps on the bus right now, but as soon as they get in there and realize that they're going on an adventure, they're really doing a great job this morning, and they're being really sweet. We're very excited. Come on, girly girl. Yeah, silly girl. Yeah, we're so excited. Yeah. Let's go. So it's going to take them a few months to get into a foster home and get better and get recuperated. But it'll also be a good chance for them to be socialized and to understand that humans are good again, something that some of these animals have forgotten a little bit of. So it'll be a great chance for these animals to really recover and then find some really good homes. Let's go. Your chariot awaits.
It's been a huge effort, but also a memorable one. With all the dogs boarded, it's time for a wave goodbye and the start of a long drive to a new home.